Hey everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to Fortunate Creations. Again, this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with crochet and crafting. So from amigurumi to weaving and anything in between, if you like crafting and being creative, stick around. I think you're going to like it here. I got an idea today while I was doing my Coffee with Kim live. A lot of people have slang terms or reference terms that other people new to crochet might not know. So I have them up here on my computer and I want to just list them off for you, read them and explain what they are. So here we go. So first you'll hear people talking about frogging their work. So to frog it means to rip it out, pull out a bunch of stitches at a time. It sounds like frog it, frog it. It sounds like rip it, rip it. So that's where they got the thing frog it. It sounds like a frog's croak. I'll say second is whip, work in progress. This is a crochet project that you have that you're working on. You're a little ways into it or halfway into it and you set it aside. It now becomes a work in progress. Along those same lines is a UFO, an unfinished project. Same idea, only this one's been abandoned for a while, left incomplete for a longer period of time. And then we all have our closet full of FOs, our finished object. This is a project that's completed. You don't quite know what you're going to do with it yet. Is it a gift? Is it something you're going to keep for yourself? So it's a finished object and you put it in your closet and you save it. One of my favorite ones, and I play this often, is yarn chicken. So this is the risky game of trying to figure out if you have enough yarn left in your cake or your skein or your ball to finish the project that you're working on. Actually, I am wondering right now if I'm not playing yarn chicken with this because I'm trying to make a headband. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough. So I am currently playing yarn chicken with this headband. Next is your Crojo. That is your crochet mojo. This is your motivation or your inspiration to crochet, to start a new project, or to get your current projects finished. You're going to hear that a lot. And then you have your stash. My stash is right here and right here and all around me. So your stash is your supply of yarn. Your stash is how much yarn do you own? Where do you keep it? How do you have it right on hand? That's your stash. A stash buster is a project that you can use small pieces of yarn, small hanks or small balls, whatever you have, and you can make up quick projects. A lot of times with the cotton, 100% cotton, I'll do kitchen towels, washcloths, scrubbies, stuff like that. They're really quick stash busters. Okay, so a yarn bombing. That's decorating public spaces with crochet, typically by covering objects like trees or branches or light posts or something where you're covering it in crochet outside where people can see it. I highly recommend you use 100% cotton for that. A lot of the other materials will shrink, obviously, read the directions and make sure it can get wet depending on where you live, right? Let's see, what's another one? Yarn barf. Well, I happen to have a wonderful example of that right here. Here is yarn barf. It's impossible to get undone. So you know what I do with this? I save it and I stuff my amigurumi with it, or I'll stuff a pillow with it, or I'll give it to my one friend who loves to untangle things and I'll have her do that for me. But that is definitely a lot of yarn barf right there. You'll hear some people talking about blocking. Now, blocking is the process of shaping your project once you're finished with it. A lot of people use the rubber pads. I have a rubber pad right here, and I will stick pins in it and do my granny squares, and a lot of my blocks for my block party, I will block them afterwards. So it's shaping your article to get it to where you want it to be, the shape you have. A lot of people do it with shawls or ponchos or even granny squares and blankets. Let's see, CAL, C-A-L, that is a crochet along. That's an event where we hang out and we crochet together. A lot of channels do that for members only. They'll do a CAL once a month, and they work on a project where they're all working on the same project. So that's really fun. It's a great team building experience for any of the channels that you're on. I highly recommend, if you see that they're doing a CAL, hop on in there and join the fun. So tink, T-I-N-K. Tink is the opposite of frogging. Whereas with frogging, you're pulling out a row at a time. With a tink, you're literally pulling out one stitch at a time until you get to the line, the stitch you need to be at. So instead of pulling all at once, I only went 2 or 3 too far. So I'm going to pull out 2 or 3 until I get to where I want to be. That's a tink. A yarn snob. I am quite the opposite of a yarn snob, but a yarn snob is someone who prefers high quality or luxury, very expensive yarn. I am at the point now where I only get that yarn when I find it at Goodwill or the Salvation Army. This is mohair, and I would have never paid, the retail price for mohair, but since this was only $2, I could be a little bit of a yarn snob and I could get this. So Hoth, H-O-T-H. That is hot off the hook. So that's a project that you just finished. It is H-O-T-H. I am so excited and I'm finished with it. And now I am done. Okay, a hooker. Well, many of you have heard of the hooker versus hooker challenge. And I was actually part of that a while back. But a hooker is a playful term for someone who uses crochet hooks. So you're crochet hooking, so you're a hooker. It's quite a cute play on words. A yarnivore. Guilty. A yarnivore is someone who can never get enough yarn and is always buying yarn, even when we say we're not going to buy more. So a yarnivore is a lot like a yarnaholic. It's something we want, we need, we have to get our hands around, and there's never enough. As you can see by my stash behind me, I live that example every day. A whip stitch. It's a simple stitch used to sew pieces together. A lot of times it's hidden and you can't really see it, and you can also use the mattress stitch for that. So those are 2 really good stitches to hold things together. And lastly is the magic loop. The magic loop or the magic ring is a way to start circular projects without crocheting a chain and circling back and going into the first loop. The magic circle or the magic ring is the way that it pulls tight, nice and cinches tight. So that is another way to start your projects. So there we have it. We have 20 different terms that some people might be using out there that you might not know. Now you know them. And I hope that helps. I hope it helps you listen to those of us out on the YouTube streets and know what the heck we're talking about. All right, you guys, I hope this helped a little bit. Remember, join me for Coffee with Kim every morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a blast. I'd love for you to join me. And remember, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. I'll see you next time.